welcome to Educon Educare, and today we are going to talk about IIFT, alright, Indian Institute of Foreign Trade, a Tier 1 B school and a B school that is a dream to many aspirants. So what we are going to do in this video is that we're going to cover everything that you should know about IIFT, the eligibility criteria, the syllabus, the paper pattern, and how it is unique from other exams, how much you need to score, and what all topics should be your prime focus during your preparation. So let's get started. So what is IIFT? Indian Institute of Foreign Trade. Alright, it's an admission test, popularly known as IIFT exam. Alright, it's the MBA entrance exam for admission to its flagship MBA. Alright, which is International Business Program, which will have a total intake of more than 576. This was for this year, that is 2022. Alright, it has three campuses, namely Delhi, Kolkata, and Kakinada. Alright, but currently it's offered at IIFT Delhi and Kolkata campuses with a total approved seat of 500 plus. Okay, the exam usually happens after a week of CAT, and that is why students should be well prepared for this exam even before their CAT preparation. Alright, because if let's suppose your exam was on 28th November, that is your CAT, IIFT was on 5th December this year. So it's very close to CAT, and the preparation should be on the top because of this reason. So let's get started with the eligibility criteria and other parameters that we need to look for this particular exam. The eligibility criteria for IIFT. Alright, so this was what it was there in this year's notification and has been picked up from there. A recognized bachelor's degree of minimum 3 years in any discipline with a minimum of 50 marks. Alright, so a minimum of 50 marks in bachelor's degree is what you should be having. Alright, if you need to apply for IIFT. For scheduled caste, scheduled tribes, and persons with disability, that is PWD categories, is 45%. Alright, that is the minimum percent in your bachelor's. Alright, and the bachelor's degree should be of 3 years duration. Alright, so diplomas are not welcome. Candidates in final year appearing for qualifying examination can also apply. Alright, this is subject to submission of proof of requisite qualification by October 2021. Alright, this would go on. Alright, this would change as the years go on. Alright, so the only thing that you need to take away from here is that if you are in final year, you can apply for your IIFT exam, given that you fulfill this 50% or 45% wala criteria. There is no age limit. Alright, people with any age can apply for this particular exam and program. Again, one particular thing about this exam is that you do not need to apply separately for college. Alright, you do not need to apply separately for college and program. This is a very good thing. Otherwise, in other exams you need to apply one for exam and two you need to apply for program or institute, right? Here it's not required. Here you just fill up the IIFT exam form, and by default it's taken into consideration that you have applied for the IIFT program. Let's go through the overview of IIFT exam now. Alright, the admission test is one of the most important MBA entrance exams. Alright guys, it's conducted at a national level and it's conducted by NTE. Alright, National Testing Agency. Alright, as I've already mentioned, the entrance exam gives admission to MBA IB. Alright, that is International Business MBA. Alright, students can select various streams in their second year. Alright, like finance, operations, marketing. Alright, but the program that you're taking admission is for MBA IB over here. So talking about the application form over here, alright, pretty basic stuff. I've just mentioned the fees over here for the application form. So for general candidates 2500, alright, for OBC candidates also 2500, and for other category it's ranging between 1000 to 15,000. Alright, for NRI category it's rupees 15,000, and for foreign national it's again rupees 15,000. Alright, so one thing to take away from this thing is that even NRI category students and foreign nationals can apply for this particular program and exam. So talking about the IIFT exam pattern, guys, this is a very unique exam with a unique exam paper pattern. Alright, it's a strategy driven pattern. Alright, it's a strategy driven pattern. If you do not strategize and you go straight away in the exam without a strategy, you're gonna falter, and you cannot expect the same paper pattern every year, but it can revolve around this paper pattern. Alright, this is the latest one. Alright, so one thing about IIFT, it can surprise you anytime. all right, it can surprise you. So what advice I would like to give you guys is, basically attempt the paper. It's all right, conceptually you are prepared, but strategically you should also be prepared. Now how strategically you should be prepared, I'm gonna take you through with that thing. All right, first thing, to during your paper you should read the general instructions very very minutely and with complete focus, because in that you will be knowing what all sections have how many questions and what is the marking scheme. They'll give you that in the general instruction. All right, talking about this year's paper pattern, reading comprehension and verbal ability had 35 questions, plus 3 minus 1 was the marking scheme. All right, similarly quantitative analysis had 25 questions, plus 3 minus 1 was the marking scheme over here. Logical reasoning and data interpretation had 30 questions, plus 3 minus 1 was the marking scheme. And general knowledge had 20 questions, plus 1.5 and minus 0.5 was the marking scheme over here. All right, now there's a catch over here, that every section has its own sectional cutoff. All right, and there's a overall cutoff as well. All right, so you need to clear at least 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 cutoffs, right? Now what happens is, usually let's suppose if a student likes reading comprehension verbal ability, he'll spend the first 30-40 minutes solving this particular section, then he'll come to cons, then he'll go to this, and then he'll come to this. But the flaw with this is that you'll miss out on some of the other section if you go on solving all the questions. What I suggested my students, and they did really good with this thing, is that first you solve at least 5 to 6 questions of every section. All right, this is more than enough to clear out the cutoff for each and every section, because every year I see students scoring really good in their overall, but then faltering in their 1 or 2 sections. So first 30 minutes, I suggest you to give 5 to 6 questions which you are very sure about for each of the 5 sections. All right, 4 sections, sorry. Then during this solving of 5 to 6 questions, identify that section that is the easiest, and that within a limited time you can solve the maximum accurate questions. All right, that is, you can at least attempt 90% of the questions. So let's suppose verbal is my strong point, I'll go and I'll solve all of the other questions. All right, let's suppose after that, if I feel that there are some 5 to 10 questions in cons that I can attend, I'll go for that. All right, then I'll scan through logical reasoning, and then I'll complete up with general knowledge. All right, or general knowledge, even in a go you can complete, that's not an issue. Okay, but the strategy usually should be, first clearing your sectional cutoff individually. All right, within the first 30 minutes, and second, optimizing and maximizing your score. That should be your second goal, and students only focusing on such type of strategies have been able to do wonderfully well in this particular exam. So now quickly let's scan through the important syllabus for IFT. Alright, first we'll discuss reading comprehension and your verbal ability. Alright, I'll talk with respect to the 2021 year. Alright, it was pretty much the same like 2020. Alright, the questions and the type on the syllabus that has been covered, it has been the same, and I'm expecting it to be the same for 2022 as well. Alright, so if we consider the reading comprehension and verbal ability, the level of difficulty was moderate. All right, not very difficult, not very easy. All right, mid-level questions. All right, 16 out of 35 questions were on RC, so your RC should be really good, and rest 19 out of 35 were on various topics of verbal ability. All right, at least 10 to 12 were factual questions. Out of those 16, 10 to 12 were just factual questions. All right, 13 to 14 questions were easily doable and could have been attempted. All right, so this is a good number of questions that were doable in the RCs of reading comprehension of verbal ability. All right, most of these questions were factual in nature, says a lot. All right, only your reading speed should be good. So first thing is that your reading speed has to be good. So start reading. All right, start reading various genres. When it comes to your verbal ability, all right, I felt almost 12 to 13 questions could have been easily solved without many challenges. All right, however, if VRC is your strength, you could have attempted more. All right, ideally I would suggest 30 to 35 minutes for this section. All right, together. All right, and talking about the in-depth syllabus that should have been prepared for this particular topic, RC reading I've already mentioned. All right, vocabulary. All right, because they ask questions on your synonyms and antonyms. All right, this year also there were questions on synonyms and antonyms. All right, your parajumbles. All right, practice parajumbles pretty aggressively. All right, there were 3 questions on this year. Grammar. All right, grammar, parts of speech. All right, then your active passive voice, direct indirect speech, all of these things very necessary. All right, root words in vocabulary is very important. I'm just mentioning it externally. All right, root words very important. All right, one word substitution, again something that is explicitly asked. All right, and one unique topic that is every year asked in IFT is table of words. All right, this is crosswords and synonym, so they can ask antonym also. So you, it's like this, something like that. All right, there are various blocks, and then there's a sentence given, or a meaning given. You have to put down the synonym over here, and like this you have to form the complete crossword puzzle. All right, so this type of questions are also present over here. This is the whole and soul syllabus that you really need to prepare exclusively for your IFT. Now for logical reasoning and data interpretation, all right, it's basically this year there were 4 DI sets, all right, and 3 LR sets. Okay, so basically you should be preparing for all sorts of DI, like table based DI, your table and mix, all right, other mix like pi, or let's say bar, or line. All right, individually pi, bar, or line graph questions, line graph sets. All right, for LR, sitting arrangement, then your, what do you say, calendar based or clock based questions. All right, tournament, games and tournament. Okay, blood relation, direction sense. All right, and matrix arrangement. All right, this is the whole and soul syllabus that you should be preparing aggressively for your logical reasoning and data interpretation of IIFT. Next, let's talk about the quantitative analysis. All right, so quantitative analysis, basically I can say that arithmetic, all right, which consists of your profit and loss, percentages, your averages, mixtures and allegations. All right, your time, speed, distance, time and work, all of it is covered under your arithmetic. All right, and a total of 11 questions were asked this year out of 25 on arithmetic, so it forms the bulk of it. If you really need to clear the sectional cutoff as well as do good in this section, arithmetic has to be your strong point. All right, algebra, all right, basically your quadratic equations, simple equation, all right, inequalities, all of these topics have to be done. Already you can expect 4 to 5 questions in your exam on algebra. Number system, all right, you can expect 1 or 2 questions, and you can basically cover all such topics like units, digit, remainder theorem, all right, LCM, HCF, all such important things can be covered over here, factors and prime numbers and all that stuff. All right, then comes your geometry. All right, geometry, you can expect 4 to 5 questions, good questions, and basically the topics that you need to prepare is circles, triangles, lines and angles, and quadrilaterals. All right, mensuration also I'm considering inside this thing. All right, now we are left with modern maths. All right, I'll put it over here because even modern maths was tested this year, and again 4 questions were there to be specific. So PNC, all right, and your probability, set theory, log, all such type of things have to be done nicely. All right, for your general knowledge, basically this year, to be very exact, statistic JK had 9 questions, and your current affairs had 11 questions. Alright, so static GK consists of all sorts of GK that you should be doing: current affairs, business, eco, alright, polity, alright, sports honor, other awards, alright, obituaries. All such things have been covered in this. The colleges that come under IIFT exam, obviously IIFT Delhi and IIFT Kolkata are the two campuses and that are primarily giving admission to various students who are taking this exam, clearing this exam and then appearing for the WAT, GD and PI round. Alright, only after that you're selected for the IIFT Delhi or IIFT Kolkata. So that's it in this video, guys. Thanks a lot.